went 0-2. The way we lost and how we lost to the Valkyries in the A6, it was a test run for us, and I think for us to finish the way we did tonight was really, really special for our group.
Look, it was a lot of haters hating on Aliyah Boston before the season start. Oh, she looked bad, is this and that, based it off what they seen in Unrivaled. Told y'all, bro, Aliyah Boston gonna ball out, bro.
Fever time, bow, bow, bow!
The Seattle Storm were labeled as bullies after last year's infamous body check on Caitlin Clark. Flash forward to now, the Indiana Fever just delivered their revenge, and it wasn't Clark who sealed it. Want to know how Boston, Hull, and Mitchell absolutely dismantled the Storm? Stick around, we're breaking down the unstoppable force that left Seattle stunned. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Last year, August 18th, 2024, the Indiana Fever faced Seattle in a game that quickly turned ugly. Caitlin Clark was bringing her usual fire, but things veered off course when Skylar Diggins drove into her with a hit that left the crowd gasping. It wasn't just physical, it looked intentional. Clark hit the floor hard, and for a moment, everything froze. The refs handed out a foul, but it was the social media aftermath that blew the incident up. Fans called out Diggins and the Storm.
I believe, this is just my theory, I think it's a sinus infection. I think it's either could be a sinus infection, a cold, or something is definitely bothering Caitlin Clark.
I thought she did a good job of making the right reads and the right plays. She was efficient. She was hunting opportunities, and we were getting her the ball in a timely manner.
Dirty play trending on X. Videos of Clark stumbling back to her feet went viral, with slow motion replays practically dissecting the body check frame by frame. This wasn't just a bad moment in a random game, it sparked something deeper. Fever fans weren't just mad about the hit, they were furious about the message it sent. Seattle wasn't playing basketball, they were playing to intimidate. Posts and tweets came rolling in, calling the Storm a team full of bullies. Seattle's players never addressed it publicly, but the Fever didn't forget. Behind the scenes, this incident became fuel. You could sense the shift even in post-game interviews where the Fever didn't openly say much. They didn't trash Diggins or Seattle, but they made one thing clear. The team's focus sharpened after that night. What made it so powerful wasn't just Clark's reaction, though for the record, she came back and drained 2 threes after the foul, but how the team pulled together. This moment wasn't just a source of anger, it turned into an anchor. All season long, players referenced that night as their wake-up call. The Fever came into this season with a different energy, and while media attention latched onto Clark, the rest of the squad transformed in the shadows.
I'm just really proud of how we stayed with it. They were, going on there, running the fourth quarter, trying to fight back, and I feel like there's been times where we've separated in that moment, and tonight we just stayed together.
But shout out to Aliyah Boston coming through. Somebody said Aliyah take a bow. Yes, final score 94-86. Great win for the Fever, who needed to bounce back, especially in the fourth, bro.
Kels, man.
They were waiting, not just for redemption, but for the opportunity to show what they'd become. Fast forward to June 24th, 2025. The rematch wasn't any regular game, it was personal. Not just for Clark, but for the entire Fever roster. And it wasn't Clark who had the last word. Boston, Hull, and Mitchell stepped onto the court, ready to remind everyone what the Fever could truly do. Seattle thought they had it figured out. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's spark plug, was struggling from the jump. 6 points? Yeah, you heard that right. The same Caitlin Clark who can casually drop 30 like it's nothing scored just 6. And it wasn't for lack of trying. The Seattle crowd was relentless, booing her every time she touched the ball, even cheering when she missed. And for a while, it worked. Clark looked rattled, hesitating on shots she'd normally knock down. Meanwhile, the Storm fed off the energy, building a lead and leaning into the narrative that they could dismantle Indiana if Clark wasn't the star of the show. But this game wasn't about Caitlin Clark. What Seattle didn't bank on was the rest of the Fever's lineup coming alive.
Right wing in the margins, and when it comes down to tough games, when it comes down to gut check games, and this was a gut check back against the wall game for us. But I'm so proud of you guys and the way that you Made really good decisions, had each other's back. Highest level of consistent communication we probably had all year.
Indiana Fever had tonight in Seattle. I'm here to tell you Caitlin Clark was nowhere to be found, but if it wasn't for Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, this could have been the third straight loss.
And when they did, it was ugly for the Storm. Aliyah Boston led the charge, and let's not sugarcoat it. She owned every single inch of the paint. 31 points? That's not just a career high, that's domination. Seattle's defense couldn't keep her from barreling to the rim, and when they fouled her, Boston made them pay at the free throw line. It wasn't finesse basketball. It was just power, pure and simple. By the third quarter, it felt like every offensive set ended with Boston muscling her way through defenders for a bucket. Then there was Lexie Hull. Her numbers don't always grab headlines, but this night she was everywhere. 15 points, 11 rebounds, offensive boards, diving for loose balls, you name it, she did it. If Boston set the tone with strength, Hull backed it up with hustle, grinding down every bit of momentum Seattle tried to build. And just when the Storm thought they'd adjusted, Kelsey Mitchell came alive. She hit 5 threes. 5. Her quick release and confidence behind the arc spread doubt through Seattle's defense.
It looked like Caitlin Clark health is still an issue in a blowout win over the Seattle Storm.
How well we moved the ball and how well we were just pinking it and it pinged until it got to the right people. And I think once you see that people can find rhythm and put themselves in a position to make and take shots that are beneficial for them.
AB career high 31.
But here's the real kicker. Mitchell's 26 points made her the second leading scorer in Fever history. By the fourth quarter, the crowd that had been taunting Clark had grown quiet. Together, Boston, Hull, and Mitchell reminded everyone that this team isn't dependent on one star. They earned that win. The celebration said it all. The Fever just sent a message loud and clear. This isn't Caitlin Clark's team, it's everybody's team. Boston dominated inside, Hull brought grit, and Mitchell sank dagger after dagger. And guess what? They didn't just rise to the occasion, they thrived. That kind of depth and trust in each other is what separates good teams from great ones.
Played a lot of games where we play 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and we end up coming up short because of that. And that's been our whole focus, is play a full 40 minutes, win every 5 minutes.
There's something definitely going on with Caitlin Clark. Like her eyes looked kind of runny in a press conference. She looked like she was kind of breathing hard today.
Lexie, first career double-double. Career high 11 rebounds.
Even Kelsey Mitchell said it herself. This was the first time all season the Fever played a complete competitive game for the full 40 minutes. Now the rest of the WNBA has to take notice. Do you believe in the Fever now? Let's hear it.